what's going on, guys? All right, so welcome back to the video. You guys seem to like that real-time detailing video. So I'm gonna turn that down. You guys really liked that real-time detailing video last week, so I'm gonna do that again. But I'm gonna detail my own Tesla. And right now we're taking it over to the storage unit. We're gonna clean out the car. See, we just did a detail today. It's not too messy, but we're gonna go ahead and clean out the materials, load it into the storage unit, and then we're gonna let you know detail this car while we're at it. And then yeah, hope you can see we're in full self-driving right now. If we go over to software, you'll see we're on a full self-driving included package, FSD 11.3.4, and we're going over to our storage unit right now. So yeah, let me know if you guys want to see more FSD videos or more content about Tesla, in addition to just the detailing videos. I've been driving FSD a lot, and it's freaking amazing. Like, this light seems to be taking forever, but once it goes green, you'll see it works really well. I love this like full scale screen right here. But yeah, let's go ahead and throw on some Tesla favorites. Oh wait, no, I can't, because then we'll get demonetized. Nope. Let's see if we can throw on some YouTube. Welcome to Electrified.
It's your host, Dylan Loomis. So first up today, I want to touch on this article that is actually a bit misleading. It makes you think that all of a sudden now Tesla is doing over 10% of revenue from the energy and services and other segments, as if it was for the first time. When in reality, if you look back across the last 4 years of quarterly data, you can see that Tesla's percentage of revenue from energy and services.
If you guys want to just skip to the detailing part, I'll put a time code down below where you can just jump ahead, or you can see, you watch this drive us there to the storage unit. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do more FSD videos like this because it's getting so good. Watch. I mean, it messes up sometimes too. Like, that was pretty. All right, so I'm gonna have to hit the gas there because it was going a little slow. So that technically wasn't an intervention, like taking it out of FSD, but I did hit the gas a little bit there, or hit the throttle. What's cool about autopilot, full self-driving, all of the above, is when you hit gas, it just accelerates the car. It stays while still staying in the full self-driving, which is kind of nice. Gives you that flexibility. But yeah, here we are, just cruising. Speed limit's 30. This is a school zone, but it's not flashing. That's the one thing I always wonder, how does the Tesla deal with different signals like that are not very standard? We have some suicide lanes in Salt Lake City. If you guys are in Salt Lake City area, what's up? But we have some suicide lanes where there's 3 lanes, and normally it's like, you know, coming this way, this, you know, oncoming, turning lane, and you know, but sometimes it's like two lanes going that way and then a turning lane, or, you know, 2 lanes coming this way and a turning lane. So and it's all controlled based off of lights, like overhead lights that have like signals that are LEDs. And I was on it the other day, and it was like painting all the yellow lines yellow. Like it was having a hard time understanding the actual markings, which kind of makes sense. I mean, eventually it'll get it with the training, but I mean, it's pretty damn good with what it's at right now. So it's gonna go ahead and stop at that line, check and make sure the intersection is clear, and then it's gonna go ahead and proceed into it. That technically wasn't necessary because they do have a yield, but I have it set to chill mode right now. So it's gonna be ultra defensive driving. So yeah, this guy's behind me. He's gonna have to get over it because we're going the speed limit, so. Yeah, see, we're going here. Yeah, see, that's a weird stop right there. Creeping forward for visibility. Yeah, that was good. A little slow, a little annoying, but I'm trying to like let the car drive itself, you know? Like, let it do its thing without trying to intervene at all, unless I absolutely need to, you know, for safety. Or if I'm gonna get hit. If I feel like I'm gonna get rear-ended, I'm gonna step on the throttle. Here we're coming around a corner, got a car coming, no problem. Gotta kind of take this corner kind of slow. There's the Capitol. Let me know where you oh, why does it think there's a stop here? Why does it think there's a stop here? All right, whatever. That guy can pass us. Okay. Little weird, little weird. All right, little hot, little close to that corner, but still good. When people say like FSD would try to kill you, I don't think it tries to kill you, you know, like any more than getting into a normal car, you're getting, you know, you're putting yourself at risk. Like same thing with flying. Actually, flying is much safer than driving, yet we all drive every day. So the bar is not set very high for FSD to be better than humans. Like in terms of outcomes, like less deaths, that's pretty low bar. You know, people drink and drive. Let's see if we go over the can. Oh no, we missed the can. See, a human would have tried to run over that can probably. Like we need to start training the FSD to do human-like things. No, I'm just kidding. No, but seriously though, like it's safer, but right now it's just not fully human, and so like it might annoy some people, but annoying someone is not a crime. I know all of the YouTube commenters like and trolls, like otherwise they would go to jail if it was a crime. All right, so it got us here. Boom. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take over, and then we're gonna cut to detailing. Thanks for joining along with this little FSD drive. Let's get after cleaning this Tesla.
On the chin, the seal, the tongue, etc. So again, I'm not ready to say whether this is better or worse. Maybe both of these strategies, Teslas and BYDs, can ultimately work, but I'm just pointing this out as something we should all be watching in the months and years to come.
Extension cord's all messed up, but oh well. I have to recoil this. I'm gonna go plug it in on this one. What? That's crazy, they got a door there now. This is kind of all odds and ends stuff. There's some towels in there. Clean towels usually go in here, and like some other stuff. It's not very organized right now. I mean, it's kind of organized, but got this pack out, chemicals, little mini vac. Got our blower. Blower is key. We're gonna use the blower right now to blow it out. We're just gonna leave that there. These, put that there. All right, all the dirty towels are gonna go in here. This is where the dirty towels are still from. I'll just leave these here. Pressure washer broke. Gotta take it back. Keys. this here. Fucking. You do. Alright, guys, I don't have any cleaner. Just have IPA. Oh shit, I don't have any Polestar. This one's just water. This one's Polestar. I'm almost out. It's a pH neutral, safe for textile, leather, plastics. Alcantara, pH neutral. Green Star is a pH alkaline, universal APC. And my little brushes now. We're gonna go to the other side. Actually, let's just this door real quick. Oops.
To their name, but they decide to try to make something of this house flipping thing. She's like, oh, I can use my design sense, you're a contractor, and let's so they move into this like 800 square foot house, and they renovate it while they live there, end up flipping one, flipping two, flipping three. They start to, you know, successfully flip some houses in Waco, but still no big deal. And then a TV show from HGTV starts casting, and they read about this husband and wife house flipper in Waco, Texas. They said, well, Waco, we were kind of hoping for somebody in LA or you know, New York or maybe Atlanta or something like that. But like, okay, whatever, let's go down to Waco and meet him. And he's got this like kind of big personality. He's real outgoing, and she's really good looking, and so it like plays well for TV. So they get their show on HGTV called Fixer Upper. And basically the show, like from day one, is a hit. And so they go from kind of husband and wife small-time house flippers, like very small houses that they're flipping in Waco, to now on TV, and they're doing this, and they do 5 or 6 seasons. They become very famous on HGTV. Show gets canceled, but what they did was they had built this this following, and they had this brand in mind that they had called Magnolia. Like they had opened up a retail store back in the day. They closed it because it wasn't really going so well, but they had this idea for this store called Magnolia. So when the show ends, they do 2 things. They reopen Magnolia as a beautiful place in Waco, and then secondly, they go to the channel, Discovery Channel, and they go, and their TV show got canceled, but Discovery gives them a whole network. Discovery's like, yo, we're gonna make the Magnolia Network all around you guys, and you guys are gonna create like hundreds of hours of like TV that's fixer-upper content, cooking content, gardening content, like all the like house shit, right? And now they've built this empire. The kind of the bottom line of the headline of the story is this couple in a span of about 10 years has built a $1 billion brand around themselves. So
it's that big?
It's that big. So there's no real numbers that like have come out. So like if you go look for their net worth or their revenue, super hush hush, which you know just makes the little hairs on my arm start to tingle a little bit. I know, I know when it's that hush hush, that means it's a lot bigger than you think, especially because you see it like Target partnered with them to develop that line of goods in their store. So like when Target, it's not even like they got their brand into Target, but Target funded them as a let's make a brand. That's just a big deal.
Taylor's moving silent. Taylor's moving silent. When you hear it, so you don't hear about it. If you don't hear about it in TechCrunch, you know it's doing good.
So I thought you were gonna hit them with a G's and lasagna type of line, no. No, not.
Well, you know, I think I've milked that one dry.
Dude, it's like my mom when she was on the phone with like a customer service person, and you're like A as in apple, B as in Bob, whatever.
Good things you didn't
She goes K as a knife.
50K, good job, hero.
I just lost it. I was like, I don't think you understand how that works.
K as a knife.
They operate like K as a knife.
I grew up on this street called Simpson, and I would be like, you know, my address is this, Simpson, like OJ Simpson, and
it works. Anyways, their app that has their TV show network has like tens of thousands of reviews on it. That means that the app is doing pretty well, and that's like their own version of Netflix, right? Like that's like kind of stunning. You never really see an influencer that has their own whole subscription network, and so they have cookbooks, journals, retail stores, brand, paint brand, furniture brand. They have a TV show network. Let alone 2 million people making the pilgrimage to your small town and Lakewood to buy shit. This Magnolia brand has to be worth high hundreds of millions, if not over $1 billion already.
Have you been to Waco ever?
No.
Dude, so I went to Waco this weekend because, and I'll tell a quick story, then we'll get back to this, but basically, last year, I randomly came across this guy who had this new Airbnb. It was basically a piece of land that he built a lake on, and he built 7 Airbnbs. I was so curious, I couldn't find him on social media. I call him up, I get him on the phone. Yeah, he built a lake. Like it was like a plot of land, and they built it. Not a huge lake, more a pond is a better word to describe it. But it's a lake, I guess. But I call him up and I go, "Tell me your story." He goes, "Well, I had I was an accountant. I had my own small business for accounting. I just built this Airbnb thing. I think it's going to be really successful. But I really describe myself as an artist. I love to paint and play music." And right away, I'm like, "I'm in. Do you want to hang out?" Start hanging out with him. He's part of this thing, I mentioned it, called Homestead Heritage. It's this religion/community. It's like
religion,
all different parts of Christianity in it, and they believe in like sustainability, and the weird part is they believe in craftsmanship. So the way that they like find God is by like doing things with their hand and doing it well. So anyway, this weekend I went and celebrated Easter at his church, and like they like had a thing. Basically, the story is that one of the main guy, which is his wife's grandpa, I believe, the wife's Isaac's wife's grandfather, lived in New York, was atheist, found God somehow, and felt like the best way to like show that I love God is to like just be excellent with everything I do and be kind to people, among other things. But that was basically it. For some reason, they moved to Waco. They get 500 acres and they build a whole community on there. And then this guy, Isaac, now has built this Airbnb a few miles away, and he made it out of profit. In his first year of business, he did $1 million in profit. And so I became friends with him, and I went and hung out there. I drove through all through Waco, and basically in Waco, sorry Waco people, it's not nice. It's like objectively like a fairly rundown place, as if maybe it was like an oil town. It feels like there was once something there, and then now it's not. And when you drive through that area, you see like not nice house, not nice like they started here remodeling homes, and you can distinctly tell which one is their brand. And so like it's like basically like Isaac French, who like brings in all these people, and Chip and Joanne like wave off him, but that's all right. I understand the wave off about that.
Yeah, there's these like simplicity-based communities or religions or cultures where it's like I'm on their homepage right now. So it comes to heritage as a agrarian, craft-based, intentional Christian community. It stresses simplicity, sustainability, self-sufficiency, service, equality, craftsmanship. And then there's literally like a video of cow eating leaves and then like a boy stitching a baseball himself.
No, for real. That was the real rankings. And then I would be at the store, and some days we would sell $30,000 of T-shirts at the store. And these like were not like T-shirts; they were just warm with a logo on it. We would sell like 10 grand worth of mugs. And so like these shows kill it. And what Mike did was he would film himself. Basically, the show is he would drive to barns, find old stuff, tell you the history about it, sell it. And he would. He spent like 4 years driving around with a video camera, filming this, trying to pitch it, and then when he finally did pitch it, he got the production rights for it. I guess he kind of like what Rod Dunick did. I think that's where the money is, and it sounds like that's what Magnolia did too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the breadth of this empire is kind of stunning to me, right? It's like whether it's home goods, it's the restaurant, it's coffee books, it's the bakery, it's the TV show network, it's the Target line. It's like, and their brand is like, they're this relatable, blue collar, salt to the earth people. It's like, yeah, like they are, but they also have some part of them that's Rupert Murdoch. And they're flexing that Rupert Murdoch over the last 10 years. I wonder if they have like a manager or if they're just doing this all themselves.
Like Rupert Murdoch in Wrangler jeans. Like it's we're relatable, but we'll gut your heart out if we had to.
Right, if Succession was in denim.
Yeah. No, I dig these people. The worst thing that would happen to them is a Johnny K+8. Remember Johnny K+8?
Of course. How can I forget?
Man, they were some of the first guys to get popular, like in the reality TV world of TLC, and then they get divorced and it ends horribly, just like Honey Boo Boo, man. Honey Boo Boo, same thing. It always ends horribly, so hopefully it doesn't end that way. I remember like Sync.
If your shtick is just how many kids you can have, that is not
have a
sustainable. It's like sometimes you see these YouTubers and they come out real hot because it's like, I'm buried alive with tarantulas, 10 million clicks. You're like, yo, but where to from here, son? Where are you gonna go with this? Like, this is not a sustainable path for you.
Yeah, but I like these people. I mean, they seem like pretty like, I don't know, wholesome, but we'll see how money impacts things.
Well, you have Oprah on here, and I think that Chip and Joanna Gaines and other people like them, like Brene Brown, they're kind of filling this Oprah gap. Like, Oprah left some big shoes to fill, I feel, and I've been amazed by the. Do you follow Brene Brown very much?
Yeah, my wife is reading all her stuff, and like she's kind of killing it amongst like the empathy crowd.
The vulnerability crowd, yeah.
Yeah.
It's those offense. We're all about authenticity.
Yeah. Yeah, the capital E, empathy. Well, like if I hear one more person say the N-word, nuance. Then that's the thing, man. It's nuance, it's empathy,
My butt clenched a
authenticity.
little there. I didn't know where you were going with that joke. I was like, Sam, don't end it here, man. We've had a good run, but don't end it here.
Nuance.
Have you seen her Netflix special?
No. I like her, but that's not my speed.
It's a gotta watch.
It's that good?
It's that good. So go watch her first Netflix special. You gotta watch it just because you've never seen anything like it. It's basically Tony Robbins, Oprah, and a stand-up comedian at the same time. Like she comes out on stage like a stand-up comedian, and she's funny without telling too many like jokes. Like it's not like set up punchline, but she's funny. But then she starts talking about vulnerability and herself, and then people in the crowd are crying, and you're just like, what kind of event is this? It's like, Twister with my emotions. Like I don't know what's going on. I got right leg on sad, and I got left hand on empowered. I didn't know what was happening. It's kind of an incredible little live show that she created, and at first I was like, why would Netflix give a special to this person? I don't understand what that could be, but it's actually pretty well done for what it is. I can see why she's so relatable. She quickly went from like, wow, to wow. Yeah. No, I'll watch it. I think we're not we're going to talk about what happened. We didn't even know what we were talking about. I dug in a little bit. I guess the theme of this episode then is, one of these TV empires, female TV empires, something like that. I don't know.
TV empires that everyone knows about, that you and I are just discovering 20 years after the fact.
Empires with empathy that the boys discovered 7 years after they're off air.
And eventually she was the first African-American news anchor on TV. Basically, the issue was that she struggled to show opportunity she was like that back then. And by the end of the decade, so after like 3 or 4 years, she was beating Phil Donahue, the local ratings. Phil Donahue was gone, so he lost Graham hard. So eventually, she kept doing that for a little while longer. In 1986, so like 10 years ago, she gets her own show, the Oprah Winfrey Show. She, along with outside directors, started a production company called Harpo Productions. Harpo is Oprah spelled backwards. And at 32 years old, she became the first black woman to have a nationally syndicated show, and she still owns 80% of that production company. And all along the way, she started innovating. So in 1996, she created the her book club, which made $130 million in sales in year one, and arguably set the groundwork for this like massive influencer industry that we have. Then in 1998, she co-founded the Octavian Media Group, which has programming for all types of shows, women, Oprah Magazine, radio show. In 2010, the Oprah Show ended after 24 years, and she has all the best guests leading up to then. 2011, she launched the Beta Network, and it all along has been doing all that stuff. So, for example, in 2016, she bought 10% stake in Weight Watchers, and then the stock 6x, like within a year of that happening. In 2008, she sold most of her stake to own Discovery, and she's done a ton of interesting stuff between now and then. But listen to her empire. So she has the Oprah Winfrey Show, which had over 28,000 guests, giving away 570 cars, had 5 presidents on. She has 20,000 fan letters. The finale had 16.4 million views. She also owns Magazine, which is the first year in 140 million in revenue just from subscriptions. And then she has Oprah and Friends, which is a XM radio contract her show where she got $55 million the first 3 years. She's invested in Weight Watchers, True Food Kitchen, which is basically a restaurant that has 42 locations. She helped start a food science startup backed by Oprah, Katy Perry, and a few others that has $1 billion in valuation. And she also is a big investor in Oatly. Then, just finally, she has a $45 million estate in California, $14 million one in Washington. In Colorado, she has 60 acres for $14 million. In Hawaii, she has over 1,000 acres, and she has basically her net worth grew from at age 32, she got her first million. At 41, 340 million. 97 at the age of 43, 550 million, and at the age of 48, she became a billionaire. So that's Oprah's story. Super fascinating. I mean, she's been in the game forever, it seems, and I think she's what, 60 something now, and still killing it. I didn't realize she was the CEO and like active in all this. I thought she was more so like a face, but I think she's actually not, you know, not just a face, but it seems like she's like actually like a mogul, a tycoon.
Right. You know what's one thing that stands out when we talk about these is that there is this like flywheel that happens once you become a certain level of famous. It's almost like, you know, that graph that's like going viral, the fuck around and find out graph. It's basically like fuck around and find out, but the positive version. So you could kind of like, if Oprah was like, here's Oprah's maple syrup, here's Oprah's, you know, like new line of spoons, here's Oprah's, you know, new board game. Like, does it really matter at this point? It'd be like her board game does 50 million in sales. Her syrup is the #1 syrup in the country right now. Like, it's kind of at that point you just choose, and because so much trust and distribution has been built up. And I have a friend who this week, I can't say the details, but they went to a very famous person. They went to a very famous person, and they said they had a business idea. They said, "Hey, our friend has a background in a certain industry," and said, "Hey, famous person, you should be doing something in that industry. Let me walk to you, show up at your door, knock at your door, and say, here's a full business plan of exactly how you would dominate in this category." So they go, they fly out, knock on the door. First, they don't meet the famous person. Famous person sends a manager to them. Sends a.
And by the way, are they like A-list famous?
They're super famous. Yes, super famous.
Got it. Okay.
A-list famous. And so they go to them, and first they get hit with a manager. They say, hey, they're trying to like look over the manager's head. Be like, "Hey, is famous? I just wanted to talk to. Just hoping to get a word in with the famous person. Can you get out of the way?" And they're like, no, you have to get through this wall first. They talk to the manager first. They say, "Hey, look, here's my background. I've been super successful in this industry. I think you guys could crush it in this industry. Can I meet the famous person now and tell them the idea?" They said, no, tell me the idea. I'm in charge of this. I said, "Okay, here's the idea." And then the person says, manager says, "That's a good idea. Okay, cool." And then they get the meeting with the famous, and the whole time they were told, "Hey, you fly in on Monday, you'll meet with the famous person sometime this week. Just hang out in the hotel, just be here," which is a pretty big time move to try to pull on somebody, to not give you a time but say, "Hey, we'll hold this walkie-talkie. When you hear me, put your pants on, get ready. The meeting's happening." But I can't tell you.
Every like, they've got a special calendar in Google. Everything ends in ish, but it's, you know, Monday-ish. You know, like it's all ish.
Right, you're given a window, and you better be prepared during that window to strike. Okay, so ends up getting the meeting with the famous person. Famous person comes in, explain the whole idea. Famous person likes the idea, but also has a bunch of their own ideas, of course, as famous people do. And so I asked my friend later. I said, "So what happened?" And the response was this. They go, "Well, I'm pretty sure we convinced famous person that they should do this and do this with us. And I'm pretty sure they convinced me that I should not do this with them." That was just a hilarious takeaway. And I was like, "Okay, well, why?" They said, "Well, you know, they have all their own ideas. They go, honestly, everything they're trying to do in this space probably won't work. Like, I think they're going about it the whole wrong way, but they'll probably end up being successful anyways. That's the crazy thing about this. Like, their margin for error is so large, and they can kind of do anything and still have it work because their brand, their celebrity, their distribution, their trust and loyalty in their audience is so large that you can kind of mess up 8 out of 10 things and still get it to work eventually. And whereas most startups, most businesses don't have that margin for error. And so I don't know what the big takeaway is. It's kind of a no duh, but it's if you're mega famous, it's not hard at that point to do the empire thing because it's like what was his name? The guy Moyes from Native. How when he was selling his company.
Let's put this in a very realistic context. So you and I have that minus, or no, divided by 100. So we're Oprah divided by 1,000, whatever it is. But we have a very small taste of it. And we also have friends, you know, like the Tim Ferrisses of the world and whoever else who have it, you know, times 10 or 20 for us and are in this like potentially billion-dollar space. There's been 3 things, I think, that I've narrowed it down to that make this empire strategy that hold me back, and I imagine someone like Tim, who's a perfectionist or someone like that, holds them back. Number 1 is reputational risk. So putting your name on crap products, and then how on earth can you actually like track it all to make sure that you're not putting your name on bad products that you actually stand by. And so because of that, it's almost like you have to pick and choose. But then there's other people like Richard Branson that put, version on everything. And it kind of doesn't work out. So that's like the big thing. Number 2 is finding people who you can trust. When you have 5 or 10 or 30 different things going on, you need really trustworthy people. And even if it's your family, even if it's your brother and your cousin, people could screw you. And like you have to really stay on top of it. You have to find a partner who's good enough to like really have your back. Like even my accountant, or I imagine if like your lawyer or your accountant, and every once in a while you're like, is this person actually thinking of me, or how are they incentivized here, and who's actually making the right decision? That's actually exhausting. I think it's quite hard. And then the final thing is like, do they want the headache of that? So like a Joe Rogan, he's just like, no, F this. Like I'm on my island here. I have what I need. I don't have to put my name on anything. Screw that. I don't need anything, and I want to keep things small and tight. And so those are kind of the 3 things I think to prevent like empires from being built like this.
Yeah, I think that's true. So say the first one again. What was the first one? Do you remember?
Reputational risk, having people that you can trust, and then just like not wanting more headache.
And here's the counter to each. Okay, reputational risk, putting your name on crap products. Do you have you drank Prime?
Once I tried it. It's fine.
It's fine. It's also the fastest growing drink in the country right now, and it's fine. And I think that's the counter to that is, yes, you can't put it on a crap product or do something that would hurt people or do something like that. Like nothing on the sort of terrible end of the register. But there's a lot of leeway between the best product in the market and it's fine, and you just got to fall somewhere there, right? It's like you're playing golf and the fairway is so wide, you really got to screw it up to hit it out of bounds. And that's how I feel with these products. Like, is Kylie's lip product the best product on the market? I have no idea. Is for most of these products, I can't tell you that Conor McGregor's whiskey or the Rock tequila is anything better than fine. There might just be.
You're saying there's got to be a threshold.
There's a threshold, and the threshold pretty goddamn low. So I think the reputational risk is a little bit less than what I think a lot of people would worry about. The rest is true. It can become a headache, and you do have to find competent people to run them. The good thing is, when you have that brand, it's like Prime. Prime didn't start by Logan Paul and KSI saying, let's create a flavor house and create a formulation. There were some entrepreneurs who approached them and said, we do this, we've done this at, we They're approached by people with track records. One thing that example is somebody with a track record saying, I know this industry, I've done this before. With your brand and your distribution, we could do this again in a big way. And I think those opportunities just come knocking at the door. It's not even like, where do I go find somebody great? It's like, can I filter? Can I just like recognize great when it shows up at my door? Is really the question for most of these people.
Do you think you would enjoy that type of fame, like Chip and Joanna?
Not only would I not enjoy it from a like, oh, I don't want to get bothered when I'm out and about with my kids and stuff like that, but also more than that is I don't enjoy what it takes to get there. And that's actually what goes, like, that's actually the most important question in business. I was talking to Ben Levy about this the other day. We were talking about business ideas.
Earlier I asked you this while ago and you go, there's a price to pay, I ain't willing to pay it.
Yeah, exactly. Know the price and then decide if you're going to pay it. When we were talking about business ideas, it's like, oh, do we like this idea or this idea? And the easy thing to do, I think everybody gets this wrong, is like, I love basketball, so I want to do a basketball-based idea. Or I'm really passionate about like helping people, so I'm going to do this healthcare startup, whatever it may be. And they think that their enjoyment of the thing is going to be based on the product or category that they're in. But in reality, most of the time you spend when you're an entrepreneur is trying to grow or sell. It's trying to get more customers and grow the actual business. And so you're
Not playing basketball.
your day-to-day experience is actually about selling and trying to grow. And what ends up happening is that some ways are more enjoyable or suit you better than others. So for some people, they love Facebook ads or they love SEO. And for some people, they love phone calls. And for some people, they love high-level business deals, enterprise sales, where you're nurturing a long relationship for a long period of time. And the big mistake people make is they think, oh, I'm creating a basketball-related startup. What they don't realize is that the only way for that business to grow is through enterprise sales. And they hate enterprise sales, so they're unwilling to go and sell to these facility managers of NBA stadiums. Or they're unwilling to sell to blah, blah, blah. And they think they're in the basketball business, but they're in the enterprise sales business because 90% of their day-to-day work and the challenge that they're faced with and the stuff they have to do, whether they're selling basketballs or ping pong balls or books, it doesn't matter. It's the sales channel, the sales process is where you're going to spend most of your time. So you got to figure out which sales process do I like the most or at least tolerate the best, and then find a business that uses that sales process. I think that is like I wish somebody had told me that earlier, because I got tripped up with this for many, many years. And when I look back, I'm like, oh, I just really like growing things through Facebook ads. It's like, to me, it's way better than these other ones. And so I have a list. I'm like, my favorite sales channel is just mention it on the podcast. It couldn't be anything easier than that. Like, if I could just tell people what I think about this product and then they go buy it because they already trust me and they like me and we have enough listeners to this product, to this podcast, that is the #1 easiest sales channel, most pleasurable. So if I can think of a business that works in that, fantastic. #2 for me is Facebook ads. Why? Because I don't have to talk to anybody. I sit behind a computer, I set up the budget, and when it works, I just scale it up with the push of a button. I don't have to hire more salespeople. I don't have to like go do something new. You can take one image that works or one video, one 10-second video that works in Facebook ads and put millions of dollars of spend behind it and make multiple millions more off that ad. I love that. I love that model. I like that. I can look at the dashboard, see a number, and know what to do. That's like my #2. And my #3 is cold emails, because I'm good at cold emailing, and it's kind of a pain in the ass, but I've done it before. I can train people to do that. How to cold email or generate customers. Those are my 3 favorites. Everything else, I don't like as much. And so when I think of an idea, it's got to fall on that top.
Seven-figure deals, and that's like a long process. I wasn't allowed to go to those meetings because like I remember like I had to go and buy like brown shoes and like tight jeans and like tuck my shirt in like a certain way. I was like, dude, like I'm Todd, nice to meet you. Like it wasn't for me.
You got all the details wrong. Just a tank top tucked in, some khakis, which are tucked into some brown shoes.
Yeah,
you're like tunnel you've created, tucking in everything in.
Right before the meeting, they're like, Sam, the the buttons are supposed to be in the front. Like,
That was a breakaway.
Yeah, so I was learning as I went. But as the owner of a company that had enterprise sales, it is awesome. Because what I didn't realize, there's this amazing thing that I learned, which is that sales teams can create demand. So even if our product was great, but even if your product is okay, if you have a good sales team, you can truly create demand. And I didn't understand that until like year 2 or 3 of like having a team like this. I'm like, oh my God, this is how the world works. Because most big companies, they just have a certain amount of budget. They have to spend it on something. And if you just get in with them and you wine and dine them and they like you, half the time the product doesn't even matter. They just have to spend it. Otherwise, next year they won't have the same budget. If they don't have the same budget, they don't have a job. So, and you can like that or you can not like it. Frankly, I don't love that's like the truth. But if you can make it work, it's pretty amazing. And I like learned that the hard way while running a company like this.
And if you don't know which one you like, your best bet is to go get exposure to a bunch of them. So go try your hand and do like a 6-month rotation where you're basically like, okay, how do I do this enterprise sales thing? How do I do cold calling? How do I do Google ads? How do I do these different things and figure out which one of these appeals to you? Because once you do that, then you could kind of pick and choose. I know most people, and I think you would find this to be true. Most successful people know do that really hop around to like, yeah, we're good at SEO. They just do SEO 4 different times before they like 3 good Facebook ads. You do Facebook ads for one business and one business. If you're good at enterprise sales, you just figure out which businesses to plug into that over time, and they kind of make a career out of really understanding one growth process, because being a master at any growth thing is super, super valuable.
I can't find this client info.
Have you heard of HubSpot? HubSpot is a CRM platform, so it shares its data across every application. Every team can stay aligned. No out-of-sync spreadsheets or billing databases. HubSpot, grow better.
Do you want to talk about Hustle GPT-3 or do you want to go to another topic?
Let's do some quicker ones. So I feel like we did a long-winded thing. So I have a couple of quick ones. Okay, so I'm gonna give you my 2 bad dating ideas. And by the way, I'd like to put another drunk ideas on the books to put that out there. This would have been in my drunk ideas thing, but we don't have it scheduled, so I'm just gonna do this over. So 2 bad dating ideas. Number 1, do you watch the TV show Love is Blind?
Sarah does, so it's on my TV all the time.
Okay, good. So you know the premise.
You and my wife have like the exact same TV stuff. Like for the listener, Sean and Sarah are texting about Bachelor or Bachelorette, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Or no, what do you guys talk about? The Challenge.
The challenge, but also these other shows. So, so Love is Blind is this like sensation show on Netflix, which is basically like they're in this room, they can't see each other, so you kind of date other people, but you never all over their personality. And then after you choose who you like the best on their personality, then you get to see them and you get to see what happens. Okay, so
and don't you like get married at the end?
yeah, well, of course, to like any great story, you need stakes, and so they raise the stakes by saying you don't just get to pick, say, oh, I like Sam the best. I want to see him now. It's like, in order to see him, you must get engaged, blind, and get married 4 weeks later. So that's how they make it a TV show. But
And some people walk on the altar.
yeah, well, a lot of people when they see the other person, they're like, oh, hey, it's so good to see you. Like they're just like, oh man, like I imagined something different. But they can't say that. So they have to find some other excuse.
One guy on the show was like trying to get an idea of how they looked, and they go, so I'm pretty. The guy was like, I only weigh 150 pounds. Could I give you a piggyback ride?
No, he goes, it was so smooth the way he did it. And by smooth, I mean terrible. He goes, I love to go to music festivals. She's like, me too. He goes, at music festivals, you know, I usually put my girlfriend up on my shoulders. Do you think I'd be able to do that? He's like, did you catch it? Yeah, she was like, like, no, that's my worst nightmare, is a guy like struggling to lift my body weights. And so she was just like, what the hell? But and this,
What size rowboat do we need?
on this season, there's one guy, they fell in love, and then they meet, and he's not bad looking or whatever, but does really intense eye contact. Like the guy doesn't blink, and she's like, and you're gonna never know this from behind the wall. And so she's like, haha, like, how come you're not looking away? And he's like, what do you mean? I am blinking. And she's like, no, look, please look away. It's like so uncomfortable to watch. So anyway, great show. I think somebody should take this show on the road. Literally, I think somebody should do I think the show, but if not the show, then somebody should spin this off. Do a Love is Blind tour where you go city to city and people pay to be a part of the experiment. So people pay to actually like do the show themselves. I also think you should do a podcast version of Love is Blind, because podcast is audio only, so it's already no visual. So you can have two people talking and you can sort of edit and cut this together and make a pod version of Love is Blind. I think the closest concept is I think that these things should generate a lot of money. And so once you get that education in the market, now somebody should go to them and get the license. Like we talked about this with kids' cartoons. Like,
Or they can just call it like Love with Poor Eyesight.
I knew you had a laugh to try to like, smooth it over. And I thought of these. I did a segment on the pod about these. These things make millions of dollars a year. Yeah, well, every parent loves it. It's like, you can't really. There's not many places you could take a tiny kid that's like kid friendly. But this is perfect because they already love these cartoons on YouTube. Ticket times 4. So
Oops. Don't do that. Got my headlight out, getting that fixed soon. So
On the community is just, can you pay the money?
Yes.
And I was thinking about that, and I'm like,
storage is a mess because I got a couch in there, and then I took the box off, and I want to put my summer tires on. And I got to reorganize the whole thing. So maybe subscribe if you want to catch that in the next vlog, like a storage unit organization. All right. All right, guys, that's the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe in. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.